Hey, what's happening? My name is Tom Beal, and sadly, my father passed away 10 years ago today. And this is my dad. I was 19, I'm sorry, my dad was 19 years old when I was born. My mother was 17. Those are my two children with my dad. That is my mother, who was 17 when I was born. And those are my children with her in 2007 when she passed. So 12 years ago, she passed, and 10 years ago, my dad passed. She passed at 52, my dad passed at 56, both due to cancer. Not a big fan of cancer, but, you know, life goes on, as they say. So I did write a book that basically shares the last weekend with my dad. I took him into the hospital 10 years ago and 2 days ago, and it was for some tests that they were going to do on him. And after they did the test, they realized, oh, they didn't tell us at the time. They're like, yeah, it's not looking good. There's cancer everywhere, and his body's pretty much shutting down. So they kept him over that first night. I had a chat with the doctor the second day, and he's like, yeah, it's not looking good. We went in there to do that biopsy and found cancer everywhere. So, we talked with your dad, and he wants to spend the last remaining days, and time that he has at home. So we'll see what we can do to get him out of here soon. And that was Saturday. And then I get a call on Sunday that I need to come in because today's probably his last day. And I go in, and sure enough, it was his last day. And I wrote some things about it at tombeal.com/dad that are the emails I shared to my friends at that particular time, sharing, from asking for prayers to sharing the updates of day number 2 and then the bad news of day number 3. But today, I just felt called while Wanda is out doing some fun things for a little while to record this video and kind of just remind myself of the gratitude and how, yes, losing my parents, 10 and 12 years ago, if I were writing the script, wouldn't be the way that I would want it to unfold, but it is what it is. And it also circles back to my childhood. Being born to teenagers, 17-year-old mother, 19-year-old father, grew up around a lot of adversity. 4 divorces and 6 marriages between my two parents. Went to 9 different schools by 8th grade, was on and off welfare. And those aren't a woe is me story. They're just the facts as to what was my life and my existence. And then a whole bunch of other interesting stories that we won't get into today. But bottom line is everybody has stuff. Families have stuff. Yet that stuff molds us into who we are. And this now, I start my wall of gratitude. So note number 1, if you don't have a wall of gratitude, I would encourage you to consider creating one. And it's fun when you have some downtime to scroll through the wall of gratitude and just put a smile on your face and remember, wow, look at all the amazing adventures that we've had, and inspires me and you to think of all the amazing adventures yet to come. So at the top's Wanda and I, the kids, doing some fun things. And these are some older pictures. The kids are grown now to a degree. They're growing up. And then, a lot of these pictures have family members that aren't here. And I have my last remaining family member. The matriarch of the Beal family is still around. Virginia Beal, still around. But my grandpa Harley is gone. Here's me, Harley, cousins, sister, hanging out. My kids hanging out with Grandpa Harley, doing some fun things with my aunt and uncle, my kids, Wanda, the kids, and I traveling, and then bringing back some old photos of memories of the family. Marion being the officiator of my sister's wedding on 11/11/11. So just a month ago was 9 years of that anniversary. So that was pretty cool in St. Thomas. My body transformation. One day I looked in the mirror, was like, holy crap, how did I get so fat and happy? It's time for me to put a plan of action in place. And within 60 days, went from 196 pounds to 168 pounds. And to this day, and that was in, what year was that? 2010. And now I still am, I just got on the scale, 165 pounds. I'm actually less than that right now. Wanda hanging out with some awesome friends of ours and some celebrities. Tone Loc, that was fun. Flavor Flav, and my mentors, Zig Ziglar. It was an honor to meet Zig in person. Bob Proctor. I spoke on stage in a mankini talking about the power of stepping out of your comfort zone. At the same time, Bob was talking. Jay Abraham, Joe Vitale, Mike Vilsaime, Rich Sheffrin, Jeff Walker, Bret Michaels, that was an awesome concert as well. Brian Tracy, author of The Game, and Joseph Sugarman, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, who passed away the day before my dad. So Jim passed away 10 years ago and one day ago from today. Jim Kelly, Jeffrey Gitomer, and myself introduced Jeffrey to Jim. Jim Kelly's brother Dan, hanging out with Jeffrey Gitomer. He was a great, great dude. Don Lepre, one tiny ad, meeting Don Lepre. John Asseroff from The Secret. Mark Victor Hansen, Alex Mondosian, the dude from Paul Mitchell, billionaire from Paul Mitchell, Jay Abraham, Mark Victor Hansen, Mark Ford, awesome dude. His real name, his pen name is Michael Masterson. Brendan Burchard, another awesome dude. Brendan took us on a little tour, Rich and I, when we went to visit him out in Portland area. Joel Tyrion, Mark Ford, and the founder of Agora. Russell Brunson, Armin Morin, Joe Polish, Evan Pagan, Robert Allen, Frank Rumbauskas, and on and on. So the good memories here. These are all great people. Good friends. Ron Douglas, Mark Evans, Seth Larrabee, two dudes from Shark Tank you may recognize, Tim Ferriss. Lots of great people here. So scrolling down, I want to get to some other great things. My friends Nissan de Vered from the Netherlands, speaking on their stage there in the Netherlands in front of about 1,800 people at that event. That was good. There we go. Justin Brooke, Ryan Dice, Ted Nicholas. Lots of amazing people here. Igor Kafitz, Coolio, Terrence Howard, Mind Freak, Vanilla Ice, Bobby Brown at the Playboy Mansion. That was an interesting rendezvous. Mind Freak, Pauly Shore, Suge Knight. Lots of great memories. John Cornetta, Ron Douglas. That was a good one. Sheffrin, John Reese, Jeff Walker. So I'm just reminiscing here. This is a good idea when you do this, and you have your wall of gratitude. As you can see, it puts a smile on your face. So there we go. So I'm gonna scroll through to get to the bottom here of the wall of gratitude, and lots of good stuff. That was actually Russell Brunson's first. This was Mike Filsames, the Internet Marketing Main Event. That was Russell Brunson's first stage presentation that day. Now he speaks in front of large audiences. Mike Filsame and I doing our 7-figure code event back in 07, which included some foosball activities. And, Alex Jeffries right there as a youngster, Captain Lou. Lots of good stuff. All right, and then scrolling down. Here we go. The good old days. So me, my grandma, and my son at my mother's bedside when she was passing away in 2007. My stepbrother, Seth, went on to be in the NFL for 10 years. An awesome athlete and awesome man. Wrestling, bike riding were my life. Then the Marine Corps, the days of old. Then the marketing world, the Dumb and Dumber event, Marketers Cruise. Years ago with Jeff Diedrich, going to the Super Bowl and doing the NASCAR driving. That was fun. Parties in Vegas, events, good times. Anyhow, you see how scrolling through the wall of gratitude puts a big smile on your face to remind you of the amazing friends you have around the world. Recent pic of Igor and I. That's cool. That's a good one. Gus. Pretty cool. So this is just a reminder of all of the fun adventures, and obviously it's not all of them, but you put a few of them on there to put a smile on your face. And these definitely do that. So that is part 1. If you don't have a wall of gratitude, create one and drag those pictures in there. This actually, Dan Kennedy has some pictures of he and I up there earlier, but thankfully he pulled through this health scare. He was on his last days at a hospice, but pulled through. Yannick Silver, And it is something that puts a smile on your face. So if you don't have, I'll scroll to the top here. Hold your eyes. I'll let you know when we're back. To the top. If you don't have a wall of gratitude, I highly suggest you create one. You might see the smile that it put on my face. And then the next one is, prior to marketing, life is like Marine Corps boot camp. Man, oh man. Flashing back to Marine Corps boot camp. This was a copy of the flyer that was handed out when we graduated on April 2nd, 1993. Here, I was the platoon honor graduate. I was the platoon high shooter. I was the platoon high PFTer and the guide of our platoon, 3028. And then at the end, my grandparents came down to watch me graduate, and they were handed this card. Congratulations, your grandson has been selected as the honor man of his platoon. He has demonstrated the attributes of a Marine to a degree not displayed by any other member of his platoon. Please be my guest at the graduation ceremony. I reserve seats for you in the covered reviewing stand at the parade field. If you will present this card to an usher at the reviewing stand, he will escort you to your seat. Upon arrival of the commanding general, he will meet and talk with you. Again, my heartiest congratulations. So my grandma and grandpa were there, and my grandpa was actually part of Pearl Harbor in World War II. And he definitely shared that it was a super proud moment to be asked to sit with the commanding general at that special place and watch me graduate. So that was a great honor, as it was being a Marine. You know, literally dedicating those 4 years of active duty. Willing to leave it all on the line to defend the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. And taught me a lot of things that I wouldn't have learned in the business world. So prior to Marine Corps boot camp, I was a wrestler. I was a bicycle freestyle competitor and national champion. And so I'd always excelled, but the Marine Corps boot camp put me to a different level of commitment, a different level of dedication, a different level of leadership. And I didn't go in there knowing anything about how to march, how to use the rifle, how to do anything military related. I didn't go to any ROTC programs or anything like that. It was quite an accident of how I ended up there. I was doing the bicycle freestyling, and in 1989 was a national bicycle champion, and that also was my junior year in high school and transitioning into my senior year, which I graduated in 1990. And that's when one of the divorces of my parents happened. And that was when my manager of the bicycle team, my mother, was handling that divorce and pretty much wasn't able to do the bike team anymore. So the team dissolved, and I went from being a national bicycle champion with sponsors, signing autographs, doing shows, to figuring out what to do next with my life, and went down a path of discovery that led to not the best choices. But in doing so, after coming out of some bad choices, was working at a factory. And, here I was, that bicycle champion, doing the tricks, having the products and sponsors, gear and equipment show up at my house, and signing autographs, to now working in a factory, not talking to anyone, having earplugs in, and still doing what I always do, which is my very best, but it just wasn't the most fulfilling situation for me. So I went and got a part-time job at the mall. And at the mall, I worked at a clothing company, and one weekend, while at the mall working, a Marine Corps recruiter came by and asked me if I was happy. I'm a fairly happy person, but at that time, I just decided, you know what? No, I'm not that happy. I'm working at this factory, I'm working here, and I just feel like I'm on a hamster wheel, not really getting anywhere. He said, do you like to travel? I said, I'd love to travel. He said, did you play any sports? He's like, I wrestled. He's like, how would you like to wrestle for the Marine Corps? I said, it's sold, absolutely. He's like, come talk to me. So I went and talked to him. He fed me all the stuff that a recruiter feeds those in his office. And a few weeks later, I quit both of the jobs. And January of 93, January 5th, I left for Marine Corps boot camp. Or 4th, January 4th, something like that. And long story short, I woke up in that Marine Corps boot camp situation. I was like, what did I get myself into? This is crazy. People yelling, people screaming, no matter what I do, it's not good enough, it's not fast enough, etc. And questioning that decision, to say the least, but finally recognizing if I was there, I was going to make the most of it. So I tried staying to myself. I tried doing the best I could as fast as I could. And halfway through the 3 month process, I had grown as an internal leader, not by choice, but just by actions. Then I was appointed to be guide of the platoon. Now, at the halfway point, I mean, there had been guides, it rotated, but up until the halfway point, all the way up until graduation, I remained as guide. And prior to me being guide, if someone messed up, that someone paid the price and was punished for that. But at the halfway point, the guide was the one who took all the punishment for anybody who messed up. So luckily, I was in this position of leadership where I had to pretty much rally the troops and call the Marines together at the recruits together at the end of the evening and say, look, I will gladly take the punishment if you're giving your best. But if you're not giving your best and I'm taking the punishment, we're going to have some problems afterwards. And, all I ask is that we work together. And, no matter what we do, obviously we know we're going to get yelled at. It's not going to be good enough. It's not going to be fast enough. But if we give our best, that's all we can do. And we ended up being, out of our graduating class, the one who won, the platoon that won drill, the platoon that won the rifle range high score, the platoon that won the high physical fitness test, and the platoon that won the high academic testing. We won everything that's possible to be won. And to us, it was no big deal. We just gave our best. And through my leadership, helped bring that collaboration together. What I found later is that's very unusual for a platoon to win everything, which we did. And I was chosen as that honor man and was given a meritorious promotion due to that leadership that I gave the platoon. And was very thankful to be out of boot camp. Like, that was a situation that had a start and had an end. And boy, oh boy, were we all looking forward to that end. It didn't seem like it would come ever. And it was on April 2nd of 1993, actually. So on April 1st, the joke of the drill instructors was, you think you're actually graduating April Fool's Day, mother. You're not graduating. All of you are redoing the entire. It was just a funny situation. But we did finish that. And we all went on to do our things. And ironically and funny enough, we were all sent in different parts, and my path never crossed with anyone else in my platoon for the remainder of my 4 years of active duty. Now, I was put into 3rd Land Battalion, which transitioned into 2nd Land Battalion, and then 1st Land Battalion. I was in Cherry Point, North Carolina, Marine Corps Air Station. I went up and wrestled. I did go to Quantico for a little while for the All-Marine Wrestling Tryouts in Quantico, Virginia, and that was fantastic. And my wrestling partner at Cherry Point was 2nd Lieutenant Antonelli when he came to our unit. And he was a 2nd lieutenant, and we were wrestling. He was pretty tough. He was from the Naval Academy. Very tough, actually. Short, stocky, strong, and very good. And we'd roll around. He beat me most of the time, but I'd get some takedowns and get some moves in here and there, but not as often as I would like. But that was the same time that Bill Clinton, January of 93, came into office, and shortly thereafter cut the budgets of the military sports program. So I ended up getting cut and sent back to the fleet, and Lieutenant Antonelli, 2nd Lieutenant Antonelli, stayed not only as a wrestler, but then transitioned into being the coach and stayed there for his full career, coaching the All-Marine team very successfully. So he ended up, I think, getting out at a major, and actually ran into a friend who knows him from the Naval Academy. So all those years later, he's touched the lives of many wrestlers and helped them become a better person, better wrestler, better Marine. Pretty cool. So that was a neat little trajectory path crossing with that amazing person. But then I went to Yuma, Arizona, Marine Corps Air Station Yuma. And prior to all that, I went to Fort Bliss, Texas, to the Army base for my 3 months of my MOS school, where once again I became the honor graduate per se, and was meritoriously promoted out of there as well. In my Marine Corps duty, about 2 years in, I was up for what's called a MESEP program, Marine Enlisted Commissioning Program. It's very rare, but the elite people, there's some people that are chosen that, like, look, you have these qualities that we love as a leader. We'd like to pull you out of enlisted, send you to college, bring you back, put you through officer candidate school, and come back as an officer. And at that same time, Like my package was done, was ready to be put into play. And it was also a time when Tom Cruise's movie A Few Good Men was out, where that hazing situation was a big deal. And we had just moved from Cherry Point, North Carolina to Yuma, Arizona. And unbeknownst to us, there was a hazing situation that went awry. And they made a comment saying the next time there's any type of hazing, we're going to set an example. So I was part of a hazing situation to make sure that it didn't get out of hand. And it didn't get out of hand, but it was witnessed by someone who did raise the flag for it. And it was that example that they said they were going to set, unbeknownst to us. So it was some non-judicial punishment, NJP, and 8 of us got in some disciplinary action where I was a corporal ready to pick up meritorious sergeant, and I got demoted from corporal to lance corporal. And at the same time, my MECEP package was torn up. So it was a real devastating spot for me because I learned one uh-oh takes away all the attaboys. That's another writer-downer. One uh-oh takes away all the attaboys. So you have to continuously make sure that you make the choices that are in alignment with your desired outcomes and with the character that you want to represent. And although I was in front of the lieutenant colonel and sharing that, I was there to ensure it didn't get out of hand, yet I chose to be there. So the law of sowing and reaping. I will reap what I have sown. Yes, I chose to be there. Yes, I will reap the penalties that come along with that. But I'm glad that I was there. I did, make it clear that this was not going to get out of hand. There was not going to be any craziness occur. Some pink bellies and just general things that were not pushing any sort of limits or lines. But I was there, and that happened. And that's one of those things where I always reflect upon and say, geez, there's a quote that says, if you want to make God laugh, tell her your plans. It makes me laugh just when I say that. So I had the plans to be a lifer, yet after that, I realized, geez, after being the elite leader that I was, there was no justification. It was black or white. You were there, so you're getting busted. Even though you were there for, the reasons that you suggested, you still were there, right? So it was like, wow, okay, so there's no room for discernment. There's no room for, it's black or white. And I was like, okay, interesting. So I'll do my 4 years, and I did get my honorable discharge, and was re-promoted after the demotion. Got another meritorious promotion before getting out, and then they were begging me and wanted me to stay, but I said, you know what? I've done what I think is mine to do in these 4 years, and I think it's time for me to explore as to what the next chapters are. And then leaving the Marine Corps, I ended up going into sales while I went back to college, and a lot of fun things happened there as well. A lot of lessons and a lot of new adventures. But then that circles back to how Marine Corps boot camp is like life, and this is the boot camp of life, and it's literally a game, just like boot camp's a game. And in boot camp, there's rules, and the rules are no matter what you do, it's never good enough. No matter how fast you do it, it's not fast enough. No matter how awesome it is, it's not awesome enough. And in life, there's rules out there that not everybody gets the same, everybody's at a different starting point, and everybody has a different journey, and not everybody has the same desired outcome, right? So a lot of times, life is there trying to push you around and to have you pretty much give up your your ability to steer your life where you want it to go. And you have to fight to say, you know what, life, you're trying to push me around, and I appreciate that, but I'm still going to that particular island. So the waters are rough, the wind is crazy, it's pushing me off course, but I'm still set. My intentions and my course is to go to that island. So I will do whatever is necessary to get back on that course. So it's all about clarity of where you want to go. And there are a lot of similarities between missions in the Marine Corps and desired outcomes and goals in the real world. A lot of people I've found just aren't clear on where they want to go and or where they are. And with that lack of clarity, not knowing where you are or where you want to go, it's like that question from from Alice in Wonderland. Well, where do you want to go? I don't know. Well, then either way works. Wherever you go, you'll be there. So it's up to us to gain that clarity of where are you and where do you want to go. And here we are on the 10-year anniversary of my dad passing. And 6 years ago, on the 4th anniversary, a dream occurred. And it was on that same night. So 6 years ago, I had a dream. And he shared with me this concept. This concept is called what I've since called the Trinity Success Method. In life, it can get very confusing, but I like to do a triangle. So in the triangle, there's 3 things that if you can narrow it down to, the base of the triangle is your health, the left-hand side of your relationships, and the right-hand side of your finances. Now, that's success. When most people think success, they think automatically money, right? Oh, success equals money. Well, success is all 3. 1 out of 3 is no good. The money and no health and no relationships is no good. The money and health is no good. Without the relationships, it sucks. And the money and 2 or 3 suck. You need all 3. You want it all. And the foundation is health for a reason. Now, similarly with health, there's a triangle below that. When people think of health, they think of the image looking back at you in the mirror for the most part. Well, there's another triangle below health, which is mental, physical, emotional / spiritual. Mental, physical, emotional / spiritual. You can have that physical rock hard body, but if your mental or emotional health is gone, what good is that? None. You once again need them all. You don't want the physical and the emotional health, but no mental health, or the mental and emotional and no physical. And the physical is a base for a reason. And health in general is the base of success for a reason, because there's a quote that says, someone with health can have millions, thousands of goals. Someone without health only has one goal, and that's to be healthy. So if you're like me, a lot of times you just take health for granted until you don't have it. And that's a pretty common thing in all things. You don't miss it until it's gone. Right? Or you take it for granted until it's not there. And anyhow, we can go deeper into that. But then you have relationships. There's a triangle over there as well: personal, professional, and social. You can't give equal time to all equal people. Everybody. It has to be a clear determination of who are your people personally, professionally, and socially. And in relationships, love equals time. Where are you dedicating the proper time to those people? Because if you're not showing them the love. And then over in the monetary aspect, money has another triangle: today money, tomorrow money, and contribution. Today money, what are you doing to generate revenue today, this month? Because most every place in the world, the bills come on a monthly basis. And it's your duty to keep your mental and emotional health, to do the work necessary to keep that covered, your lifestyle and your monthly expenses covered. Because I've been on the other end of that, and it's definitely not the most conducive to be the most creative or happy when there's more month than money, right? You want to make sure you're doing the proper activities to cover the expenses and lifestyle. And then the tomorrow money is the projects that take more than 30 days. Sometimes 60, sometimes 90 days. And they don't have a necessary guarantee that it's going to all turn out, with rainbows and unicorns, but you use your discernment and your experience to hopefully the time and energy and effort you're putting forward into those tomorrow money projects have a high probability of getting a return on that investment. But you know what? Sometimes in business, actually many times in business, it's like stepping up to the plate as a professional baseball player. You're pretty good. You may have a 300 batting average. That means every 10 times you're getting on base 3 out of 10, but you're not getting on base 7 out of 10. Similarly in business, no matter how much success you've achieved, there's going to be a strikeout ratio. You aren't hitting 1,000 generally. Very, very few people are even close to that. So you have to be willing to fail your way forward and get up to the plate and swing and miss, swing and miss, swing and miss, swing, get on base. See what I'm saying? So you have to have that fortitude. You have to have that determination. You have to have that commitment and that willingness to step into uncertainty and out of your comfort zone to make that happen, as well as the belief. Even if you had 3 strikeouts in a row, this is the one that I'm getting up and going to knock it out of here and get on base. And then the contribution. There's this saying that you can't The more you give, the more you get, right? So find something that you feel you can contribute your uh, resources, your time, your energy, your experience to, and you'll find the more that you give, the more that you'll receive. It's an amazing principle that for the people that crack that code realize it, and really it's a good thing to become uh, addicted to, because it feels really good to give, and you get the right endorphins and you get the right feeling because you're making a difference. And whether that's resources, whether that's time, whether that's energy, whether that's expertise, the more you give, the more you receive. And this is my way actually of giving here, and I hope you are getting some value from it. And what you'll also realize, there are some selfish reasons I'm doing it as well, to help remind me of the gratitude and remind me of the amazing things that are yet to come. It's an exciting time to be alive, and B, to hopefully give my experience to you and give this most precious asset of my presence, of my time, to you. There are people that see that value and invest $3,000 per month to speak to me for hours, 1 hour per week, for $3,000 per month. And I'm gifting this to you as my way of reminiscing on the 10 years of my father passing, in hopes that something that I say speaks some hope, some joy, some inspiration into your ears, into your heart, for you to recognize that your best is yet to come. So I'm getting hot. It's hot in South Florida, and Wanda should be back soon, so I'm going to cut this short. But I didn't have any agenda other than selfish agenda to help me reflect on some things that would make me smile, and reflect on all the good times that I spent with my family, with my friends, and inspire me to recognize that wall of gratitude is still many decades left of filling up with amazing things yet to come. And at the same time, also reflecting back on, boot camp, on the pictures here of wrestling and bike riding and boot camp, and the Marine Corps experience itself, the childhood, wow, life goes by quickly. Enjoy it. I have a saying. Zig Ziglar had a saying: "See you at the top." And Zig was a big influence on me since 1989, when I crossed paths with his audios and videos, and his was "See you at the top." And I said, "Man, wouldn't it be cool to have something that people would know me by?" And I own Make Today Great. Make Today Great. So all my emails, all my videos sign off with "Make Today Great." And it does have a transition that I've transitioned into: allow greatness, allow the greatness to flow to you. But Make Today Great, it's quite catchy. I like it. So I encourage you to make today great. I do have a blog that's a podcast at maketodaygreat.com. There's tons and tons of valuable insights there. If this was helpful for you, there's more there. I do have another gift at yourbestowaits.com. That might be helpful for you. And the true gift that is just chock full of, at this particular point, over $5,000 of value for free is at my site, thesimplifier.com. It gives you access to my app. And there are trainings that literally, there's one course in there that actually this person and I, Mike Vilsame and I, and Jeff Walker was there as well. Jeff Walker was there, and Rich was there. Rich actually speaks in it. I speak, all three of us. I speak in it, Rich speaks in it, and Mike speaks in it. Inside, people invested $5,000 to be at this live event. I have the recordings of that inside the app, along with recordings of several other of my friends that I've shown here. Ron Douglas, Ty Cohen, man, a whole bunch of massive value in there that I encourage you to go get at thesimplifier.com. That's it. No agenda other than my selfish agenda to put a smile on my face and reflect on some amazing, amazing journeys that have occurred so far, and remind myself that this is just the beginning. This is the time to really, now that I know what I know, to amplify and do what I know what I help my clients do with my own messages, to help share more of this joy, more of this possibility for you. Because that one URL that I mentioned, yourbestowaits.com, your best truly awaits. And my hope is sometimes in these pictures, there's reminders of people who are very well known and respected, who have been influenced and impacted by some of the messages that I've been able to share. And that's a true blessing. And I know that it's now my time to not be emotionally lazy and actually to put the proper steps into place to share some of these messages a little bit more. And that was part of the agenda today. And if you enjoyed this, please leave me some comments. There may already be some comments. I've selfishly been stuck on the pictures here, haven't been looking at the comments. I would be happy to look at all the comments and reply to them as well. So if you enjoyed this, then it was a success. That was my intention, one of the several intentions. So shoot me a comment below if you like this. If you want to hear more, go to some of those sites that I mentioned. TheSimplifier.com is one you'll definitely want to go get the app. And then from there, I'll be emailing you a lot more value as well. All right, time for me to drink more water and get ready for Juana to come back. Have a good evening and get ready for an amazing Saturday. All right, hope this finds you well wherever you are in the world. Till next time, make today great.